Hey guys, so welcome back to another Q&A today. Lots of you guys left lots of great questions on the previous video. Some of them were fantastic ideas and some of them really incredible questions that I just wanted to save to try and make a full length video about it, just to give you guys the most value I can, to give you some great input and ideas for the whole community to really interact with. So I've just chosen some of the questions I thought would be really good and really relatable to a lot of people, hopefully give you some good insights, some good information, ideas. So let's get started with it. So the first question today is nice and easy one for me. What is your favorite running distance? So I don't particularly have a favorite running distance. I used to run track back in the day. I've raced pretty much every kind of distance you can imagine, going up now into ultras, into the 100k distance. So right now my favorite distance has to be that 100k distance, really trying to master it. So that's ultra marathons, 100km trail marathons with plenty of climbing in there. Really enjoying that distance, really enjoying these races. Just trying to master that, get as best as I can at that kind of craft right now, and really try and find my best performance, my best fitness within that realm of ultra racing. Definitely going to move up someday. People have asked me in the past if I'm going to move up to 100 milers. That's definitely something I'd like to move up to and give a try in the future. But right now, 100km races are really the kind of niche that I'm really trying to dial into and get my best performance out of. So right now that has to be my favorite distance, but overall with all running I definitely enjoy all distances, all types of terrain. So I don't really have a true favorite, but right now it is the 100 kilometers. When you pack food for long runs, do you eat while running or do you stop and eat? So I'm going to just answer that. Yeah, so when I'm on these long runs, definitely, you know, it's important in a training run, obviously in a long ultra race, that you do have nutrition on hand with you. Generally, if I'm doing these races, I won't stop when I'm eating. I'll be trying to keep moving and being competitive in these scenarios. And that's what I'm doing in race day. So generally I try and replicate that in my training runs. So I'll try and be eating on the run. So for me, generally if I'm coming up to a big climb, that'll be the kind of time when maybe I think about getting a bit more extra calories in there, as the intensity is going to be reasonably high on the climb, but at the same time you're moving at a slower rate, so it gives your body a lot more of a chance to try and process some of those calories without it sloshing around too much in your stomach. Maybe try and eat something like a Runnerville bar then, or some dried fruit, something that's going to take a little bit more energy to digest than just the gel, just to keep you sustained on those long climbs, those long runs. So I don't generally try to stop. If there's an aid station in a race, I'm always trying to be as fast as I can through that aid station, just because that time adds up over 100km distance, but maybe you've got 10 aid stations. If you're spending, you know, 5-10 minutes at those aid stations, that adds up to, you know, an hour and a half, a long time throughout a race. So generally I'm trying to be as fast as I can, as efficient as I can for the aid stations, and that's what I try and replicate in training as well. I try and be eating while I'm running on those long climbs, or just trying to get a gel in nice and quickly from time to time. What is your go-to fruit for recovery after a run? Which fruits give you the most benefits? So for me, myself, if I'm in a hot, humid country, well, obviously you're sweating loads, your hydration really becomes a big part of the recovery process following a run. So I usually try and go for the more water-dense fruits there. So watermelon is obviously a fantastic choice in that regard, getting you nice and hydrated, a great balance of minerals and vitamins in there as well that really help and speed up that hydration process. So watermelon is an incredible fruit to reach for if you're after something just to get that hydration in, get some great energy in straight after a run. Really easy to eat and really easy for your body to process as well. But my favorite has to be pineapple, always pineapple, full of bromelain, so really good for anti-inflammatory response in the body, and really great at just giving you that energy, and just so sweet and so delicious, especially out here where I am right now. I'm in Thailand, and the pineapple in Thailand is incredible. So pineapple has to be my favorite go-to fruit after a run. But all fruits are really great in terms of giving you that vitamin boost, giving you those minerals after a run, after a workout. Really great food choice to go for, because it's so easy to digest as well at the same time, so you'll get that energy straight into your system, and then maybe an hour, 2 hours after that you might want to have a bigger meal just to get that recovery process really in full swing. Can you give some tips to improve not heel striking on my stride? Also, what would you say is an optimal running cadence? I'm trying to improve both, some drills or whatever may be useful. Okay, so when it comes to the tips to improving your running form, thinking about making changes to that, it's definitely a process. It's something that a runner has to be really patient with, and try not to speed up, or try not to really escalate the change in the running stride too quickly. Obviously you have to remember that the way you're running right now is how your body is attuned to running right now at this moment in time. It's what your body is used to, and if you're going to change up any part of your stride, any part of your landing. It can have, you know, some adverse effects on parts of your body which maybe aren't quite strengthened correctly for that right now, or aren't prepared to take that load of weight, which is, you know, running is a weight-bearing activity. So you have to be really careful with how you go about changing your running stride, and it has to be done very slowly and very carefully, and really minute changes over time. But it's definitely something that is important for all runners to think about. It's something that I definitely work on for myself, and that from time to time, trying to improve my efficiency, trying to run economically and as fast and smooth as possible is a big part of that as well. Now, they also mentioned their cadence. So if you haven't seen my video already about cadence, it's something that you should think about with your running. A lot of studies have shown that the optimal cadence is 180 steps per minute. Now, I don't think this is always necessarily true 100% of the time. You shouldn't be carried away, and perhaps if you are, you know, either 10% either side of that, then you should be in a good region there for being nice and efficient with your running stride. So perhaps if you're maybe 10 steps either side of that, so if you're at 170 steps per minute or 190 steps per minute, you know, you should be within a safe area there for really keeping yourself nice and efficient within your running stride. You know, if you speed up, you will find that your cadence will naturally probably speed up at the same time, so that number will increase at the same time there. And the same thing goes if you're running at a slower speed, your cadence probably will slow a little as well. But it's just being mindful that when you are running steady, you are running a race effort, you are running these faster efforts, you want to be really working on a nice efficient stride rate, and that 180 is often associated with that. When it comes to heel striking as well, if you are a heel striker, it's not always something that is a big warning sign to worry about. What I would really focus on for the most part is focusing on that when you are landing, you are efficiently moving through your stride, in the sense that when your heel is landing, you're rolling through that stride off onto your forefoot really smoothly and in a very efficient way. If you are heel striking, your heel is landing directly in front of you and there's a big jolting force going up through your leg, maybe you're jarring the knees a little bit there, then you probably will find when you're increasing your mileage, increasing your intensity, that you are putting a lot of stress on your knees and you might have a few injuries along the way. So I would recommend I'm really focusing on making sure that your heel, your legs, when you are landing within your stride, are landing beneath your hips. And then generally, if an athlete begins to do this more and more, they'll find that they are transitioning more perhaps onto the forefoot, less away from the heel, or they are just being very efficient at moving from the heel onto the forefoot within the stride, and having a nice efficient running stride with that at the same time. So you mentioned running drills. Running drills are obviously a fantastic way to try and build the kind of neuromuscular connections between your brain, between your body, that movement practice at getting your running stride nice and efficient. Thinking about just incorporating some simple drills into your program can really help that. So we're talking just high knees, heel kicks there, but you can think about doing lots of walking strides as well, lots of maybe plyometric work where you're working more on your forefoot to strengthen the legs to prepare for that landing that you want to really have when you're running as well. So maybe this is a whole video in itself as well, guys, but I hope that really helps you out with that question. How would you approach racing a half marathon in preparation for a marathon 6 weeks before the marathon? So yep, this is, you know, a typical kind of marathon building block. Lots of athletes would reach for a half marathon in the lead up to their marathon. 6 weeks amount of time between those two races is perfect. That's a good length of time to make sure you recover really well from the half marathon effort, and then able to excel your training past that for that longer effort, obviously twice as long when it comes to marathon race day. What I would usually encourage an athlete of mine to do along this process is I would really try and get them ready and in great fitness for that half marathon, so they can give it a good honest effort where you're going to be running half marathon pace above that marathon pace then, which is going to really help in the process to getting that marathon pace feeling nice and comfortable, and obviously really pushing that athlete's lactate threshold alongside that as well. So I would recommend an athlete really kind of push this as a hard effort. If you're feeling strong, if you're feeling fit, if you're feeling like your training is going in the right direction and you're feeling confident, then a lot of athletes, if they are in great marathon shape or getting in close into that marathon shape, will find that they're probably at their half marathon PR shape at the same time. So I would really recommend and suggest to my athletes at least to go for it, give it a good go, have fun, see what you've got in the legs there, because all that fitness, all that time that you've built up to get to that point, to get on that starting line for the half marathon and the lead up for the full marathon, don't waste it. You know, make the most of that experience. It could be a real good confidence booster to come away on that lead up to a marathon with a good half marathon result, maybe a PR, personal best, or just a strong result, and then feel nice and fresh off the backside of that. Obviously allow some recovery, but make sure you step back into that training plan then with that focus to, you know, make the most of it when it comes to marathon day. Okay, so last question now today, guys. What's the best way to balance nutrition for running and fat loss? So when it comes down to this, guys, I've got a simple answer. I would definitely recommend whole foods, plant-based eating. So that's basically cutting out a lot of meat and dairy from your diet there, focusing on plants, focusing on fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, whole grains, brown rice, maybe whole wheat pastas, potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, legumes. Really simple foods, guys. You can make some incredible meals out of this, really tasty food at the same time. But you're going to be finding with that influx of fiber, that influx of high plant foods there, it's very difficult to overeat, so it's very difficult to eat too much. Obviously your fat intake is going to be lower as well. You're not going to be having all these additives, all these preservatives. Keep it real foods where those calories are full of those good nutrients, those vitamins, those minerals, which at the same time having a great influx of those vitamins is really going to help reduce any of those cravings which you might be struggling with right now, which might be leading you into a diet which typically isn't very healthy for you, or it's just meaning that you're snacking on lots of stuff which isn't great for you in the long run. So look after yourself, look after your running to get the best out of your running performance, and obviously, like you mentioned there as well, trying to promote some kind of fat loss. I would say just really focus on eating really clean, make sure you're not cutting down what you are eating in terms of volume. Allow yourself to eat well, but eat healthily, and you'll find with that fiber intake, you have a really good consistent energy release throughout the day, and at the same time, you'll be having lots of fantastic vitamins, fantastic minerals, which is going to keep you healthy and really look after yourself, because running can be very challenging on the body. We all know that. We're after just the best diet to get us out the door, get that recovery sped up at the same time. So it's all part of a process. Again, like anything, guys, just take your time with it. Don't rush it. Don't expect results overnight. It's a consistency that always pays off. I hope this question and answer session, this Q&A, has helped you guys out. If you've got any questions, please leave them down below. I do appreciate all of them. I do read all of them, and I will get back to your comment. If not, get back to you in the video. Maybe you'll make it to the next Q&A. Apologies for if I didn't read out your question today. It may be a video of its own at some point on this channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, guys. Lots more videos on the way. I hope you're having some great challenges out there and get some great runs in of your own. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy running.